Hi, I'm Sugar from Sugar and this is my Instagram workflow.
We got a summer of the kind of movie love, all in for some more of anything that comes along. Oh, forever.
When it comes to Instagram, I'm pretty into it. So for me, curating a feed is something that's really important to me, something that's, you know, the colorway that I love and I feel just reflects my branding and things like that. I love that about Instagram. For me, it's a real expression to do that. And I get that that's not for everybody, but that's the way it is for me. You know, the more interested I get in this, the more that I set out to really nail this look time after time. So that gives you a general idea of my feed. So let's talk about how I workflow it. As I go along, I'm also going to answer a few questions that I received on Instagram when I asked you guys if you wanted any tips or tricks in terms of how to up your Instagram game. Now, the first question I received was from Madame Rouge Makeup, who said, do you use any apps to help like Tailwind, etc.? The short answer is no. You're going to see all the apps that I use to curate my Instagram feed while we go through here. I don't use anything to schedule. Unarm, which I talk about later, is probably the one that I use that you could use to replicate something like that. Yeah. So for me, it's a no. I don't schedule that sort of stuff. Okay, the next question is from My Clothes Rack, and she just wants some tips on how to make batch shot content seem genuine and instant on Instagram. This is such a great question because I prepare a lot of my images ahead of time, and so I just find that having a huge variety in my stockpile really helps for me to be able to find the one that I want to use when I have something to say. So that probably seems a really simplified answer, but that's really all it is I keep a lot of content, I make sure it's all entirely filtered and in my Unarm or in a folder in my phone, so that way if there's something I want to say, I can usually locate something to say it with. Okay, let's get on to the workflow. Okay, so first of all, I use Dropbox. So basically, you could use AirDrop or anything like that. I just need somewhere really that I can save images that I can then export to my phone. So what I do is export, save image. I come out of Dropbox and I go to Visco. I import that image into Visco. I copy the edits from a previous image. So usually I try to pick something in the similar genre. Copy edits. Paste edits. And straight away you can see it's got that look about it. Because I leave these ones in here, usually I can pick one with a similar colorway, stuff like that. It doesn't take me long at all to edit. If we come into here, we can see the history of what I do. So I use the A5 filter with reduced exposure, increased contrast, increased saturation, and increased tint. So that's basically all I do. If you've watched my how I edit my photos in Lightroom video, you can see that what these images look like when they come out first, and why I sort of edit in that way. It just makes it really easy to add these filters on Instagram, but it's not actually that far from what I'm using anyway. From Visco, I then export that to my camera roll. I always, realistically, it won't matter here what you use as long as it's larger than 1080 squared. So if the smallest side is larger than 1080, then it's a win. Because if you go too big, Instagram will compress that image and you end up with less quality anyway. Okay, so once it's in my camera roll, then usually I would bring it into Unarm and it gets saved in here with these additional, here's some I prepared earlier images. So just upload that, put it in. And now we can start to plan my grid. So these ones are actually all, I just had these here for a previous video. So let's just swap them out. Just cycling them around so I can show you. Okay, so say I want to, oops, bring this shot now down to here. Okay, so while I'm doing that, we might take another question. Amanda from A Fuller Life blog wants to know how you find the time and motivation to keep putting into so much effort. Okay, the short version is that I love Instagram and I love curating a feed. I feel like it's a real expression of who I am, who my blog is, and it's fun for me, to be honest. Heaps of fun. So as you can see here, this image is not looking that great. So I come in here and see if I can do a crop. Now 5:7 is the full length Instagram crop. So I can apply that, but again, you can see I'm headless. It's not the sort of image that you would necessarily use. So I might look at an 8:10, bring it up or down, or just go straight to a square and crop it into that sort of thing. Okay, and because again I've got this above this, I might move it here, or I might decide I want it to go here, and then I don't want that there, so I want here. Okay, I would write the caption. Oh hey, Insta workflow. Right, and then when I'm ready to post, I just copy to Instagram, and as you can see here, it's captions ready to paste, the live grid, and it'll open that image in Instagram. So because it's a square, we just go to next. Our edits are all done, copy, paste, and we're done. So I would tag the brands. So in this case, we got ASOS. You, because why not? They've never tagged me once. And Allison. Okay. Share to Twitter. And then I share. Okay, now we're going to tackle the last of the questions, starting with Gail wants to know, are you using the archive and turning comments off feature? I do use the archive. I like to be able to hide an image if it's not fitting in with the grid without having to delete it, because after the posts get further down, I can reactivate it then and it's not a problem. And I haven't used the turning the comments off feature. I don't have a lot of problem with people being disgusting or hateful on my stuff, so I figured that's what it's there for, so I haven't used it yet. Okay, and now our final question is from We Love Weekends. Do you find time of day makes a difference to post exposure, and do you advocate hashtags in the description or the comments? Okay, so first question, I do. I find that time of day makes a huge difference to post exposure. If I even miss, some of my posts will go live at sort of 6 or 7 in the morning, depending on what my analytics say. But if I miss that window, I may as well skip any post until mid-afternoon, really. So get to know your insights and work out what time of day is going to work for you. As far as do I advocate hashtags in the description or comments, I actually use the first comment. I usually have a couple of hashtags in my actual caption. Usually they're my more vanity hashtags. So Sugar's outfit, Sugar does YouTube, stuff like that. So that's where I would put the hashtags in the caption, more of the vanity, me specific ones. And then when I'm trying to reach an audience, I would put up to the maximum usually in that first comment. If you want to check out my article about the Instagram shadow ban, using hashtags and stuff like that, I'll link it below too. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this look into my Instagram workflow. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, please subscribe so you'll get all my updates, which has been like 4 so far. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate your support and I'll see you on Sunday.